Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paperboy, and it's another top 10 episode. Today we're delving into not George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I was going to say George Washington is probably the most famous collected president. The problem is he is so long ago that there's not that much out there for him, and it's all going to cost a mint. Anything from when he was around. Abraham Lincoln, not that that wasn't a long time ago, but you're more likely to find stuff. It's been 160 years, but people did start saving this stuff back then. Number 10, Abraham Lincoln Bronze in High Relief by Charles Calverley, 10-inch diameter rare, $2,000 on it. You're definitely going to notice this if you're out there, but I had no idea at all this was going to be that kind of money. The other thing on stuff like this is I absolutely loved putting this together. I love putting together the top 10 videos for you guys. Absolutely love this one because it's heavy in paper, and this is the kind of stuff that I know. Of course, the first item's not paper, but lot number 9, Abraham Lincoln Funeral Flag Rare, $2,500. Really neat because you've got the 1934 letter here explaining where it came from, that somebody's grandmother had asked one of the military guards, hey, can I have that? And it had been around the coffin, and the guard gave it to her, and it passed along with the family forever. Really, really neat item over there, $2,500, if not one of a kind, certainly very, very rare, with the provenance. And that's what's the most important thing about it, because otherwise you would see this a little flag like this over here, and you'd be like, oh, that's neat, it's just an old flag. But having that letter and all that definitely is what the value is in. Rare Civil War political pin, President Lincoln tintype photo mourning with the cockade as well, $2,500 on it. Just a great item right over there. And again, this is another one of those that you got to do a little bit of research and know the era to know that this would have been a mourning type item. $2,500 on it though. Just great stuff, definitely. Coming in next, Carl Sandburg, Abraham Lincoln, The Prairie Years, which is a very, very common book. You can find the set of those for $10, $15 for the set. However, if you get one of the signed limited editions out of 260, it's a $2,900 item for the two of them. So definitely, only 260 of them made. Very popular book. Carries the value. Up next, Abraham Lincoln Inauguration Book owned by John F. Kennedy. $4,000. You get the letter of authenticity as well. I know that a lot of times, because of the tragic ends that happened to both of them, people have always linked the two presidents, Kennedy and Lincoln, together. Each has 7 names, or 7 letters, each has yada yada yada. So there's always the lore between the two, and then to have something that Kennedy owned from Lincoln is just absolutely amazing. $4,000 amazing. Coming up next, Abraham Lincoln 2023 Super Products Keepsake 5x7 Cut Auto Jumbo Seal Patch 101, $6,100. This is one of those things that, as a purist, they cut apart a historical document in order to sell. This was a chase card is what it was in their packs, or however they were distributed. Some lucky person ended up getting a $6,100 item out of a pack. It's one of those things that there's a dilemma for some dealers such as myself. Geez, you cut the stuff up, and it's almost like book breaking. You are where you are on it. I'm where I am on it. I wouldn't do it, but I leave a lot of money on the table, and I'm aware of that. Up next, 1860s L. Pring and Company President Abraham and Mary Lincoln in John Wilkes Booth, $7,500, 3 cards, all graded. The only thing I thought was really interesting in this over here was here he said CA 1960, or 1860. It's not 1860 because it shows the assassin. They would not have put an assassin out before the tragic event happened. So it's probably, 1865? Or there, shortly thereafter, probably 1865, could be 1866. So kind of an interesting thing, though. I've never seen these cards out there. I had no idea at all that they were $2,500 a piece. 1.5 on that. A lot of foxing on that as well. Coming in at number 3, historical document signed Abraham Lincoln Navy Commission note, 1863, $9,500 on this. Would have definitely been a keepsake in a family. It's all framed up as well. Just a great, great item right over there. It gives you an idea as what they're worth if you can find one. Does look to be a very large document as well. Does not give the measurements on it over there, but looks to be a large document. Coming in at number 2, Abraham Lincoln PSA fingerprint autograph signed as president, 1864 signature, $10,000 on that. Another one of these chase type items over there. Again, they did cut up a document. Does have his little fingerprint, little thing on there as well. Still $10,000 on it. So really, really an interesting item. And the number 1 item this week, PSA 6 N76 W. Duke Sons and Company Abraham Lincoln Great American Cigarette Card, $13,876 for that. Now 6 is a very high grade on something that old. 6 is a very, very high grade. When you get back into those, you're not going to find 10s on that stuff. So that is a high grade. Don't know if it said down below. Did not say what the population is. You can go online and find out how many 6s there are, how many cards are higher than that, and that sort of thing. But $13,000. Do keep that in mind. $13,000 for a PSA 6. Rare, and now we got some bonus items for you. Rare 1865 Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson inaugural ball invitation, $2,000 on this. There was another one that sold for about $1,400 out there. Still just a great, great item out there. 9.5, 7.5 by 9.5. Now this is the kind of thing, believe it or not, you can find folded in a book. Something rather like this could be sitting in a family Bible somewhere or something like that. Do keep your eyes open. Now you know it's worth $2,000. This was very interesting. Abraham Lincoln lithographed anti-Lincoln political cartoon 1864 was folded down, obviously, $1,600. But the interesting thing about it was if you go down over here, 2 other examples, Library of Congress, a trimmed copy at auction in February 2022 for $4,000. It all depends upon, why did he price it at $1,600 and take it if he knows it's worth $4,000? Don't know. He may have wanted to make the sale quickly. A lot of different reasons for it. I probably would have priced it with that rarity and another one selling for $4,000. I probably would have priced it at $5,000 and hoped to get $3,200. I'd probably still be sitting on it. He sold his. 1932 U.S. Caramel Presidents Abraham Lincoln Scarce Blue, very clean condition, $1,500. And it says down below that this is a color variant. The blue is a color variant, and that's why it's worth $1,500. So kind of interesting on that as well. I was unaware of color variants on that. I've got a couple of them, I believe, in my collection of that set. Do not have this one, obviously. This was awesome. 1865 handwritten diary details of President Abraham Lincoln assassination and funeral, $1,200. Anytime you can get those old diaries, purchase them. They do take a lot of work because you have to go through them, and sometimes they're not easy to read, depending upon how good the handwriting is and the like. And often, all they are is really cold today, went into town. Not fascinating, generally speaking, but you go through them and you find some historical item like this, $1,200, amazing. And remember, too, these were back in the days, there was no TV. It would not have been televised, obviously, no radio. Either you would have been there, you heard about it word of mouth, or the newspapers would have done something or other about it as well. So kind of interesting. Same thing with the Civil War diaries and the like. A lot of that stuff is historical, one-of-a-kind items. Abraham Lincoln, the Wigwam edition, campaign biography, 1860, $1,200. I would have had no idea whatsoever this was worth this, and I deal in paper. Isn't the kind of thing that I find. Again, no idea whatsoever on that over there. It is interesting. It was Abram Lincoln, and I think a lot of people would probably have put Abram as well. I probably would have as well. I probably would have said Abram Lincoln, just because that is what it says on the cover. But $1,200 for that. Original Abraham Lincoln Civil War Cartavist CDV by Anthony and Brady, $1,175 on that. Do want to give you the warning, we did have the auction professor on a recent live show. Do watch that if you could. Somewhere near the end, he did mention about photographs and how you got to be very, very careful. You need a black light to make sure everything is the way that it says that it is. Just to let you know, this guy is 7,100 positives, So I wouldn't be too concerned. It's got heavier wear on it. Wouldn't be too concerned on this. But Auction Professor does say you got to be very, very careful. There are some fakes out there in the photography world, so you have to be careful. And 1888 N76 W. Duke & Sons. We've seen this before, except we saw it in a PSA 6. PSA 6, almost $14,000. PSA 4, $4,000. So just that little bit of condition difference adds $10,000 to it. Just to let you know, that's the importance of little bit of condition adds a lot of value to it. So there we are. Only 9 have graded higher. So in a 4, only 9 are higher. So that 6 that we saw earlier is very uncommon, to say the least. Do check out all the other top 10 videos. Every week I do a delve into a different subject. Have a lot of fun doing them. So definitely do hit the like button. Do check the other ones out as well. These are meant for the resellers, the collectors, and the like. So we'll see you next video.